アルフィータイム It's アルフィータイムやったーやったー
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hello and welcome to episode 36 of the Decent Wrestling Show. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe and leave a comment below, and to put that notification bell on, and subscribe to my friend on YouTube S3V3N, and enjoy the show. Before we get into Mania weekend, let's start with NXT, the best time of the week. We opened with Imperium taking on LA Knight and MSK. 3.5 stars. It was a very good tag team match. Again, LA Knight's kicks, sorry, had to do it properly, were always amazing. He's just so over and with this crowd, and I absolutely love it. Porter absolutely killed Wesley with a clothesline. Just literally killed him with that clothesline. But in the end, Imperium picked up the victory. But a really fun opener. I really enjoyed this one. We then, Saray found her necklace, which we found out. And then we had Ivy Nile take on Tiffany Stratton in a decent little match. Give it 2 stars. Ivy Nile has serious potential. She's getting better with each performance. She looked really great here. In the end, she did pick up the victory with Saray, thanks to Saray distracting Tiffany Stratton and costing her the match. Nice to see Saray. Tommaso Ciampa cut another fire promo as usual, and he put the chair away respectfully as he goes into his final NXT match at Stand and Deliver. We then had a great video package on Dolph Ziggler. Really shows that he is an absolute GOAT. Absolutely love good old DZ, and it's so awesome to see him getting this big shine. We then had Legado del Fantasma take on Brooks and Briggs. 3.25 stars. It was actually a really fun little match. Went about 5 minutes, but was actually really good. Some unique moves from Legado del Fantasma, and a good performance from Brooks and Briggs as they picked up the victory. A nice video package on Cora Jade, making her just making her a nice underdog story. And she had a funny line that, you know, she's like, Paige, Sasha, Charlotte. Well, I don't really like her. Thank you, Cora. We love you for that. We then had Von Wagner take on Brody Hayward. I mean, it was alright, I guess. Von Wagner does nothing for me, but there was nothing wrong with it, I guess. It was just there. Joe Gacy took on Draco Anthony. 2.5 stars. A solid performance from these. They gave a good match for what it was. Draco Anthony's kind of boring. He's kind of dull, but Joe Gacy is actually much quicker than I thought. Toxic Attraction came out. Mandy Rose looking absolutely stunning as well, and they cut a promo. And JC Jane actually impressed me in this promo. She did really well in it, and yes, she's starting to really grow on me, JC Jane, because I've sort of put her in the background, but yeah, she's pretty good. And then we saw Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez reform to beat them up, as they also they attacked Wendy Chu backstage. Another promo package for Tony D'Angelo, and he continues to be awesome. Nikita Lyons had a squash match. Nikita Lyons is just stunning. And then the main event was, we had a Bron Breakker video package, another good one. And the main event was the 3-way match. A-Kid, Roderick Strong and Cameron Grimes. 4.5 stars. Go out of your way to check out this match. This was a brilliant 3-way match. Non-stop action with all 3 being involved at pretty much all times. All got good shines. Could have gone any way. But in the end, the right person won, and the right person was pinned, as Cameron Grimes picked up the victory, going to the moon, beating Roderick Strong. Terrific stuff, an excellent match. Definitely go check this out. NXT UK. Marley took on Xia Brookside. It was fine. We saw the debut of someone who helped Xia Brookside win. Meh. Trent Seven took on Ashton Smith. 3.5 stars. A very good match. I really enjoyed this one. I'm really loving the storytelling between Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, as Trent Seven was kind of cheating throughout the match, and Tyler Bate did not seem too pleased. We had a solid Wild Boar promo. He's actually pretty decent, like on these backstage segments, but in the ring is just disappointing. Kenny Williams took on Tate Mayfair's in their debut. It was fine. Williams played a good heel role, and Tate Mayfair's picked up the win because Sam Gradwell made Kenny Williams lose by counter and then chased him to the back. We then had Ilya Dragunov and Roddy Strong segment and backstage segment, and it was very good. Usually Roderick Strong's promos are quite boring, but he was excellent here, and so props where it's due. He listed his compliments and said, you know, I was this, I was that, and he's like, it hurts to say I was, but you'll know that feeling after next week. Brilliant stuff. And Ilya was great here too, and yeah, pumped for the match next week. Heritage Cup in British Round rules as Noam Dar took on Mark Coffey. 3 3/4, another great match in Noam Dar's resume. He gave Mark Coffey the best match of his career. Brilliant stuff from both these men in this match. Really nice storytelling, and I'm happy that Noam retained his title. We'll see where he goes from here, but Gallus lose another big match. Smackdown. Not much happened on Smackdown. Really, we had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which was fine, I guess. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the Battle Royal, except for the winner, which was Madcap Moss. Little part of him is growing on me, a little bit, but I just, not at this time. Not at this time. There was one very good match. Ricochet, Angel, and Humberto had a 3.5 star match. Really nice 3-way match. A lot of charisma from Angel and Humberto, and Ricochet with his impressive moveset. Ricochet picked up the victory and retained his title. Now book him stronger, you cowards. We then had Sasha Banks and Naomi botching their way into a match with Carmella and Queen Zelina. Yeah, it was what it was. I then didn't really watch the rest of the show. Pat McAfee chased Austin Theory back in the locker room, and we got an appearance of Vince McMahon. It was pretty cool. Charlotte cut a promo on Ronda. It was okay, I guess. But yeah, pretty weak episode of SmackDown, but the most watched episode of SmackDown in history. So there was someone on Twitter who said, nobody watched SmackDown. You kind of look like an idiot now. I don't get this reality thing that, like, Twitter is real life. Like, oh, X match is trending on Twitter, this means everyone knows about it. But then you ask the general public and no one knows about it, because Twitter is not real life. Okay? Just because a match is loved on Twitter doesn't mean it's loved worldwide. Do you know what I mean? You can go, oh look, everyone on Twitter hates WWE, but the general public don't. So, what are you accomplishing? Nothing. NXT Stand and Deliver. We opened the kickoff show with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai taking on Toxic Attraction for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. It was a fine match, and JC did great in there, but I'm sad Toxic Attraction lost. But it was nice to see Wendy Chu. 2.5 stars. We opened the main show with the ladder match for the North American Championship. Grimes got a very cool entrance with a nice graphic on the Tron. This was a brilliant ladder match and delivered well on all levels. Everyone got a shine in this. There was some amazing stuff with, like, Elektra Lopez doing a crossbody to the outside. Sunset flip on Solo onto a ladder. Waller killing herself with an elbow drop through 2 ladders off the top of a ladder, seemingly breaking his arm in the process. Hopefully he's okay. A cave in onto the ladder. Nice stuff from Santos and Waller. A Solo tope. Santos torpedo suicide dive. Grimes front flip dive. Mello pitch perfect Asai moonsault, followed by Waller's fake out dive. Waller's cutter off a ladder. Mello line onto a ladder. Springboard super kick on Mello, pushing Trick Williams off the ladder to the outside people, and a Rana off the ladder. Insanity, and I loved it, and I'm so happy that Cameron Grimes in the end finally got his moment and became the NXT North American Champion. 4.5 stars. Next up was Tommaso Ciampa taking on Tony D'Angelo. A nice send-off for Ciampa in a well-worked match. Tony D played his role brilliantly and picked up the win as he should have. And there were some terrific near falls and a smart ending. Overall, just a really good match. Triple H coming out to hug Ciampa after the match was beautiful. And I really loved that Ciampa in his entrance did a tribute to both Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And even hit like a spine buster like Triple H, which was very nice. Yeah, great stuff. 3 3/4. Next up, the NXT Tag Team Championships as Imperium took on the Creed Brothers and MSK. Insane action and super fast-paced stuff. All three teams got a shine. Wes Lee stood out for me the most. There was a great Tower of Doom spot and a brilliant cannonball from Brutus Creed. Eichner was being Eichner, which is always awesome to see. And we also got to see the pounce. Nash's Rana over the top rope was insane. Yeah, what a fun match, and it's great to see MSK back on top. 4 stars. We then had Mandy Rose defend her title against Cora Jade, Io Shirai, and Kelly Ray. Cora got a cool skate-themed entrance, and Mandy looked goddamn beautiful and cool as hell. Another terrific match with all 4 getting a shine here. Everyone worked hard, and Mandy had her best showing yet. The Io Shirai versus Kelly Ray little bit was nicely done and teased. Hopefully we get a full match between these two in the future. Of course, we got the usual multi-person dives, and Io's moonsault was beautiful and dangerous as she landed knee first on the announce table and was hobbling a bit after this. Cora's selling is always amazing, and I loved everything she did with Mandy Rose in this match. The sunset flip on the apron to Kelly Ray from Cora was nasty. Io hit a Spanish fly off the top rope, but Cora broke it up with the senton in a very cool moment. Cora hit sliced bread in a DDT, and I thought she had it won, but Kaylee Ray returned out of nowhere to break it up in a great near fall. The ending saw an Io moonsault, but Mandy came out of nowhere with a brutal knee strike on Io for the win. What a match, 4 stars, and I'm happy that Mandy Rose retained. The semi-final was L.A. Knight, yeah, taking on Gunther / Walter. A brilliantly well done wrestling match. Simplicity done right. It flowed really well, and the psychology was smart, and both played their roles very well. A well told story of working LA Knight's back, leading to a smart finish with a splash to the back and a powerbomb. Great stuff. 3 3/4. The main event for the NXT Championship, Bron Breakker took on Dolph Ziggler. Bron had a cool as hell entrance with him chainsawing the new NXT logo. Ziggler was in retro trunks here. He slapped Bron before the bell, which was very funny. Ziggler was selling big from Bron, and Bron hit some beautiful belly-to-belly suplexes. Ziggler's cockiness cost him at times, which was a very nice touch. And we got a top rope Frankensteiner from Bron for a 2 count. A nice sequence to a beauty of a spear for a terrific false finish. Another cool moment in the match was when a super kick was reversed to a spear, and Bron hit his power slam finish, only for Rude to pull Ziggler to safety. And then Bron Breakker did a front flip dive. Insane. My man is just insane. Fame Elsa as he came back in the ring, and a zigzag for only a 2 count in another sick near fall. Ziggler then with a lovely Kyrie tribute. As he hit an insane elbow for a 2 count. He tuned up the band, but Bron badassily, if that's a word, stared him down and hit a 3rd perfect spear, which again Ziggler sold like a madman. But Ziggler with a thumb to the eye, push into the exposed turnbuckle, and a super kick for the shock win. Terrific stuff, and Bron was made to look like a star even in defeat. 4 1/4 stars. Overall, what a brilliant show. The main event delivered big time. The opening ladder match was insane. Tony D and Ciampa was a lovely send-off for Ciampa. The women's 4-way and the tag 3-way were crazy fun, and LA and Gunta was a well done single match. Top to bottom, great show. Yeah! Wrestlemania 38. Let's kick off with night 1. So first off, the stage looked outstanding. It was a beautiful stage, absolutely beautifully designed. However, the person singing the national anthem was Brody Gilbert, and he sucked. Honestly, he could barely sing. It was awful. The singer on night 2 was far better, but in my opinion, she just let Lillian Garcia do it because she actually can sing. The first match for the Smackdown Tag Team titles, the Usos defended their titles against Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. Boogs and Nak's entrance was of course brilliant, and they have this new orange gear which looked really nice. Sadly, early on in the match, Rick blew out his knee and they had to improvise the final few minutes. Nakamura did a cool dive, and there was a good near fall in there. And in the end, the Usos won, in which was still a good match despite the injury. 3 stars. The next match was Happy Corbin taking on Drew McIntyre. Both had entrances with very cool pyro. Drew pulled out a cool front flip dive in this one, and he kicked out of the End of Days. This did a great job of making Drew look absolutely unstoppable. Overall, this was a really fun wrestling match with some cool moments and the right winner. Post-match, Drew got Angela and cut the ropes on the ring. And to be honest, Drew really reminds me of Triple H. And I think that that's a very good comparison, and makes me really like Drew because he's such a badass. 3.5 stars. Logan Paul and The Miz took on Dominic and Rey Mysterio. This certainly shocked a lot of people. Miz and Logan had brilliant yellow gear and beautiful pyro. Mysterio came out with a USA and Mexico attire with Dominic in the USA and Rey in the Mexico. Dom hit a nice twisting dive and the hot tag to Rey was very well done. Logan actually did really well. He hit a very nice power slam and he made every move feel and look big. Logan hitting the 3 amigos was tremendous heel work along with the frog splash. The double 619 to Logan, but Miz sneaked a tag and got the win. Very cool for Miz. After the match, Miz turned on Logan, seemingly turning face again, although maybe not. Logan was a natural, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing him again after that. Credit where credit is due. 3 3/4. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky had a brilliant cheeky attire and an amazingly cool entrance. She looked badass here and beautiful. Bianca Belair also had an awesome entrance with a live version of her theme song and a brilliant red attire, which looked super cool. Brilliant start with Becky hitting the manhandle slam straight away for a perfect near fall, teasing the SummerSlam finish. And this was a very terrific back and forth match with some wonderful moments and near falls. Becky even busted out a moonsault of all things. Bianca hit her pitch perfect 450 splash. Becky hit a Becky go round which looked nasty in a good way. We got a KOD to the outside, a manhandle slam on the stairs. Just crazy stuff. The storytelling and intensity in this match was top notch. Brilliant long term storytelling with Bianca getting her big win back from SummerSlam. A brilliant match and a beautiful moment. 4.5 stars. Next up, Seth Rollins against an opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing. Seth had a cool as hell entrance with Acquire, and we got the WWE return of Cody Rhodes. Yes, basically one of the founders of AEW has left after about 4 years. Not a great look for them. To be fair, he got a huge pop, and he had a very cool entrance, and his theme song does slap. He did a funny Stardust reference that was a nice little touch early on. Seth was brilliant with his character in this match, and these two had some lovely sequences together with the just natural chemistry. The suplex to the outside was brutal, Cody worked the arm well and Seth sold it well, as did Cody in his ribs. Seth sold like a madman for Cody on a suicide dive and made him look absolutely great. The buckle bomb to the barricade was sweet. The sequence to the first crossroads was absolute perfection and the kick out was brilliant. We also got a Falcon Arrow from the top rope, which was insane. Pedigree was teased by both of them and Seth eventually hit it for a 2 count. And then Cody busted out a springboard cutter and the kick out was again beautiful. I really enjoyed the ending as we got 2 crossroads. He then did a bionic elbow as a tribute to his late great father Dusty Rhodes and a 3rd crossroads. This was actually an almost perfect match. 4 3/4 again. Credit where credit is due, this was brilliant. We then had the Hall of Fame people come out. We have the Steiner Brothers, Sharmell, Shad Gaspard, Vader, and of course the legendary Undertaker. Next match, Smackdown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defended against Ronda Rousey. This is a pretty good match with some nice intensity from Ronda. Ronda clearly carried Charlotte, who just isn't as good as she used to be. We had some cool sequences and a great near fall with natural selection. The finish did suck, however, as Charlotte retained. These two are certainly capable of better. 3.5 stars. Then, the KO show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Owens came out in his wrestling gear, talked down Texas and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold interrupted, coming out at exactly 3 hours and 16 minutes. Pretty damn cool. Austin interrupted to a massive pop. They had a great fun back and forth, and then they agreed to have a no-holds-barred match. Yes, Kevin Owens main evented WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin. So cool, and I'm so happy for him. And you just know that CM Punk is crying inside about this. There's no way he's not so seething about this, that he's getting to see someone else live out his dreams. You know damn well if he was offered this, he would have taken it in a heartbeat. And he's having to watch someone else, a better human being, do it because CM Punk is a arsehole. Austin stomped a mud hole and walked it dry, hit a nice close on the outside, which Owens did an inside out sell for. Austin was taking bumps, then they balled into the crowd and Austin took a suplex on the concrete. Yes! They fought up the ramp and drove up the stage in Austin's moped bike sort of thing. More suplexes on the stage. Owens got thrown down the ramp and eventually Owens hit a stunner, but that wasn't enough to get the victory. Owens then brought out a chair but hit himself in the head with it by accident on the ropes. Austin with a stunner for the win. 4 stars, brilliant stuff. So awesome to see Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestle one last match, and what one hell of a way to go out in front of a rabid Dallas, Texas crowd against Kevin Owens. Brilliant stuff. Overall, night one hell of a night. It was so surreal, it didn't even feel real at times. Austin wrestled a 15-minute main event with Kevin Owens. Bianca Belair got a big moment in an awesome match. Cody Rhodes returned and put on an instant classic against Seth. Logan Paul was a natural in the ring. Charlotte and Rousey was good despite the weak finish. Drew and Corbin was great and the atmosphere of the whole show was great. Terrific stuff. WrestleMania Sunday, WrestleMania Night 2. We had a terrific opening video package again with Mark Wahlberg. Just brilliant stuff. Recapping the Saturday show, we're also talking about the Sunday show and hyping that up. We had Triple H open the show. Got me emotional. One last entrance. He did the water spit and left his boots in the middle of the ring. So it's definitely over. One hell of a career, as I've always said, and eventually I will get making that video. I'm watching back all of his best matches and it's so wonderful. Best professional wrestler of all time. We love you, Triple H. The first match was for the Raw Tag Team Championships, RK Bro against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy, and what a opener. This was brilliant start to finish, non-stop action, and Montez and Gable had 2 big spots in this one, with Montez doing his front flip dive and Gable doing a moonsault off the top rope to the outside. Best moment was obviously Riddle hitting a springboard top rope RKO, so awesome. Orton's hot tag was brilliant as usual, and RK Bro got the win. Great start to the show, 3 3/4. Omos took on Bobby Lashley, Big Bob. The big spot in this match was Lashley suplexing Omos, and that was hella cool. Lashley got a cool as hell entrance, and Omos looked even bigger than usual here. Lashley made him look great, and this was just a lot of fun. Big meaty men slapping meat. It was very different to the rest of the card, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy Lashley got the big win. 3 1/4 stars. Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. This was insanity and amazing. Crowd was red hot for absolutely everything, and Sami played his role to perfection. What a performer. I don't know much about Jackass, to be honest, but this was still hella fun. Some dude, some party boy or something, came out dancing and stripping, and it was both hilarious and also I need to bleach my eyes from it. Sami beat the hell out of him, and that was great to see. Then we got Wee Man from under the ring, who's he was a house on fire, and that pop was insane. He body slammed Sami Zayn, which is hilarious. I saw someone put Hogan and Andre, and then Wee Man and Zayn together. Brilliant stuff. Zayn then booted him in the face, which got a huge laugh from me, sorry. Johnny Knoxville hit a tornado DDT. A big hand came out of nowhere and hit Sami. We got a bowling ball to the groin, and a kick from a machine trap also to the groin. Pyro on the top rope, and a big bump through a table with mouse traps. Just insane stuff. The finish saw a massive mouse trap on Sami, holding him down for the 3 count. Insane in all the right ways, and only Sami could make this work. 4 stars, brilliant stuff. Zelina Vega and Carmella took on Sasha Banks and Naomi, Natalya and Shayna Baszler, and Rhea and Liv Morgan. For the Women's Tag Team Championships, Sasha came out in a Lambo, which was pretty damn cool. Nani looked amazing, as did Rhea and Liv, who were dressed as Batwoman and Catwoman, I think. It was a pretty good match, even though I don't really care about Sasha and Naomi as a team, to be honest. Zelina hit a nice moonsault, and it was pretty good paced action throughout. The double Tower of Doom stop was pretty good, and Sasha had a great showing in this. Pretty good stuff. In the end, Sasha and Naomi won. 3 1/4 stars. It was fine. Then we had Edge versus AJ Styles. Styles cut himself by walking into the star on this set. Hilarious. Edge had an absolutely fantastic entrance. Go over your way to see that. So badass, and I love his new theme song. This was a fantastic match as expected. 2 legends of the game going at it. It was wonderfully paced with every move meaning something, and it made everything feel bigger rather than just, spot. We saw some lovely sequences, storytelling, psychology, pacing, selling, and near falls. The suplex on the apron was brutal. The Stars Clash near fall was very well done with a superb kick out. Superb last ditch kick out from Edge. We ended with a mid-air spear which looked hella awesome, as AJ Styles was slightly distracted by Damian Priest to set up a new faction with Edge, and I'm all for that. This was an instant classic. Edge is still one of the best around right now, and he put on another banger. 4 1/2 stars. Next up was Sheamus and Ridge Holland taking on Kofi and Woods. Fight night! Kofi and Woods dressed in Biggie's gear, very sweet and touching, but they also looked hilarious and ridiculous. The match only went 2 minutes and was short and sweet. Fight night won, which was the correct result. We got a catching bro kick, which was pretty cool. Ridge Holland picked up the victory, which is a nice moment for him, and Butch was great, so it was fine. 2 stars. Austin Theory took on Pat McAfee next. Brilliant video package on Pat for this. He is just everything. He is the full package. He's such a wonderful performer. Vince came out with Austin Theory. Pat had an amazing entrance with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and kicking an American football into the crowd. He got a huge pop from this crowd. This was everything I wanted and more. Electric crowd, as Pat did an awesome job. Pat hit a Hurricanrana. He beat up Theory while commentating, missed a beauty of a swanton, better than Jeff's. Did his backflip off a top rope, and then jumped up and hit a superplex. Awesome stuff. Then he won the match of all things. So cool, and what a WrestleMania moment for him. And everything after was brilliant also. This was top-notch stuff, 4.25 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Then Vince McMahon got in the ring. Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon. I know people are saying, oh look, Meltzer was right, they did have a match. It wasn't really a match, to be honest. Vince just literally beat him up for literally 2 minutes. Theory then got involved, and Vince beat him in literally 3 minutes without taking a single bump. All he did was literally hit him a couple of times with a clothesline, or half a clothesline. That's all he did, and then kicked an American football in his stomach. It wasn't really a match. Vince got spooked by Theory's music, which was funny, but this was all leading to Stone Cold coming out, and Theory took an amazing sell from the Stone Cold Stunner, and Vince took the worst stunner ever, but to be fair, he is a 76-year-old man, for goodness sake. Bless his heart. This was a lot of fun. And after the match, they were all drinking beer, and Stone Cold even gave a stunner to Pat McAfee, but we all love him for it. Brilliant stuff here all around. The main event, the undisputed championship on the line, Roman Reigns took on Brock Lesnar. Huge fight feel for this one, and Heyman was terrific in his role in this. Standard great stuff with Suplex City, a spear through a barricade, some great near falls, a spear into a Kimura lock, which was awesome. Roman got the rope, spear out of nowhere for the win, as it looks like Brock Lesnar was injured. The ending wasn't particularly great, so I'm not going to give it 4 stars, but I thoroughly enjoyed the bout before this, so 3 3/4 at the end for this one. And your tribal chief picks up the victory and stands tall. Overall, WrestleMania Sunday, another terrific night with a variety of entertainment. Everything with Pat, Vince, Austin and Theory was superb. Knoxville and Zayn was hella fun and crazy. Edge and Styles put on a wrestling clinic as expected. The opening tag was superb and action-packed. The main event was great with the correct winner. What a night. Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania. If I'm being honest, it was quite disappointing. It wasn't a bad show per se, but it was just okay, and not really much happened a lot of the time. It definitely felt underwhelmingly average. If this was just a normal week of Raw, it would have been a fine show, but I think for the night after WrestleMania, you expected a little more than this. Cody Rhodes opened the show with a 20-minute promo, and I just didn't care. He wants the world title. Then Seth Rollins came out, shook his hand, and that was the end of that. Just a waste of time, basically. Then we had Sasha Banks and Naomi taking on Rhea and Ripley and Liv Morgan. Banks and Naomi won. I didn't care for the match. Then it looked like Rhea turned on Liv, but she didn't. And then they're going to have a title match next week because they lost. Makes no sense. This is Stardom level booking. Obviously, Rhea's going to turn on Liv next week, or maybe Rhea will have a different tag team partner next week. Who knows? We then had Kevin Owens cutting a promo, and he had good stuff to say. And then Ezekiel came out. Now you may be saying, Alfie, who's Ezekiel? It's Elias's younger brother, apparently. It's just Elias. He's got a completely new look. He's got the gear that he had on the WWE 2K22 render, his new short hair, and looks very handsome, to be fair. He's got no beard. He does look so different. He looks so different, but it is definitely Elias. Ezekiel tried to convince Kevin Owens that he wasn't Elias, but Kevin was not buying it. He then said he's going to beat him up if he doesn't get out of the ring before 10. Ezekiel just stood there, and Kevin Owens just walked out after counting to 10. Again, it was fine, but I expected a little more. It was cool to see Elias back, or Ezekiel back, but nothing happened. You know what I mean? I expected at least a punch from Ezekiel to Kevin would at least been something. You know what I mean? But there was, I would say, four really cool things that happened. First one, Veer made his debut on Raw. Veer arrived on Raw and he destroyed the Mysterios in a great debut. We stand Veer in this house. And let's go. He's got a match against Rey Mysterio next week. Have him destroy Rey Mysterio. I'm all in with Veer. Bianca Belair came out to celebrate her winning the Raw Women's Championship. She just cut a promo. It was a good promo. Don't get me wrong. But again, no interruption. Nothing really happened. We then had the NXT title match. Dolph Ziggler against Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker getting his rematch here after he was cheated out of the win on Saturday. And yeah, this was a great match. 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. And they had nice callbacks to the Saturday match. This time Bron Breakker learned his lesson and picked up the victory over Dolph Ziggler, becoming your new NXT champion. Hopefully this gets more eyes on NXT. And very smart to have this title change take place on Raw in front of a big crowd. An electric crowd. And over probably maybe even 2 million people. We then had Bobby Lashley and MVP making his return. They cut a promo. Omos came out to interrupt them. And then MVP turned on Bobby Lashley. Yes, he's aligned himself with Omos. Omos needs it. He needs a mouthpiece. And MVP made Lashley a star. Can he do the same for Omos? We will see. But this was a well done segment, and happy that MVP is staying as a heel, because I think he's better as a heel. And let's see how Lashley does as a face. Zelina Vega turned on Carmella, and then Carmella made out with Corey Graves. Okay. RK Bro teamed up with Finn Balor to take on the Usos and Austin Theory in a 6-man tag. A good fun match. Austin Theory pinned Finn Balor. I expect he must have a US title match. For now, he's beaten him like 3 times. We then had a Texas Tornado match as the Street Profits took on Alpha Academy. Pretty fun stuff with a great finish with Monsters hitting a splash through a table on Gable and picking up the victory. Good stuff, but again, underwhelmingly just good. Edge and Damian Priest came out and had a great promo. Edge is just so brilliant. He's just so amazing, man, at everything. And him and Priest took down AJ Styles, who came out to interrupt them. So it looks like this feud is not over. And next week we'll get Damian Priest versus AJ Styles. Hopefully they get more time than they did the previous few weeks. But I'm all for an Edge and... maybe we'll get Edge and Priest versus Styles and someone else. And then I assume that someone else will then turn on Styles and join the faction. That's what I'm calling. And the final segment, Roman Reigns, who was rumoured to be injured, but it looks like he's not injured, which is great. He cut a brilliant promo, basically. Heyman cut a great promo, basically talking up Roman Reigns and all his achievements. And like every big success WWE's had has been while Roman Reigns has been on top, which is, again, true. True, WWE's been killing it with Roman Reigns top, financial-wise and everything, and ratings-wise. When Roman Reigns is there, everything is up. He is the needle mover in pro wrestling right now. And yeah, but it would definitely lift on a cliffhanger, because he's going to announce what's next on Smackdown. I would have just had it done here, but I mean, it was again, I think that encompasses what Raw was like. It was good, but underwhelming. So I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10 for Raw this week. It was good, but underwhelming. Couple other little things. I got a huge W on Twitter as I was blocked by Sean Ross Sapp, who is a failed wrestling journalist and just an all-round douchebag, to be honest. And I'm so happy to be blocked by him, because I never have to see his useless tweets and his worthlessness ever again. If you don't know who he is, don't even bother with him. He's a douchebag. If you disagree with him on anything, he'll throw his toys out of the pram. He'll try and get his followers to attack you because he's weird like that, and he thinks that if people agree with him, that means he's right. He could honestly tweet the sky's polka dots and have people agree with him, and he'd be like, yes, see, look, I'm right then, that means. And he also has burner accounts which he then uses to agree with himself, which is just really sad. Like he'll probably tweet something and then he'll go on his other account and go, "Oh, that's a great article, buddy. I really agree with this. You're so smart." He's that kind of person. He's a douchebag. Don't give him any time. And there was another thing on Twitter. Brody King from AEW made a stupid comment. He tried to say that Edge's new faction is a knockoff of his faction in AEW. Mate, you reek of desperation. You reek of desperation. You know that you're crying behind your eyes because you would love to be in this faction with Edge, but you're not going to be that big of a star ever. So Edge has accomplished more than you ever will. So you know that's true. You're just desperate. And stop acting like you made this. This is your idea. You're a genius. You're the only person ever to come up with this idea. When I could say you're a copy of the Brood or the Ministry of Darkness. So you're copying a 23-year-old idea. How original of you. See what I mean? Yeah, you're an idiot, mate. And yeah, you've made yourself look like a complete fool. Well done. Stardom. Cinderella tournament. Round 1 and 1 match from round 2. Cinderella Tournament 2022 took place. 16 matches took place. I got 14 out of 16 on my predictions, by the way. So let's kick it off. Let's see what happened. Unagi Sayaka defeated Hina. 3.5 stars, a very good match. Surprisingly very good. Unagi managed to pull a great match out of Hina, which was awesome to see. Really good back and forth, great near falls, good stuff. The right winner won. Saki Kashima defeated Waka in 2 minutes, 2.5 star match. Waka got almost all the offense. She was very fast and very aggressive, but unfortunately didn't pick up the victory. Sad times. Maika defeated Hanan in a 3-star match. Pretty solid stuff. Nice back and forth and good showing for Hanan here, with again the right winner with Maika winning. Mirai defeated Mina Shirakawa, who was with her Bloody Cosmic Angels gimmick, which was always awesome. Her charisma, her character, is just everything is off the charts. She's amazing. She deserves better than just losing to Mirai, who has been quite boring since coming to Stardom. 3.5 stars, Mina deserves better. Mayu defeated Momo Kogo, as you'd expect. 3 stars, solid stuff. Poi defeated Starlight Kid, 3.5 stars. I would have given it 3 3/4, but the ending kind of sucked. Because Starlight Kid hit a finish shot on the apron, and Kito just rolled out of it like it had no effect. Atami and Tam went to a 10-minute time limit draw, 3 3/4 low. End up being my match of the night. Great stuff between these two. These two always deliver. Sad to see Tam out of the tournament low. We then had the round 2 match in oddly placed time. Sai Kamatani faced Maika to a 10-minute time limit draw, which means Maika will get a shot at the white belt. 3 1/4 stars, it was a fine match. I skipped a couple of the next matches as Mai Sakurai defeated Lady C, for goodness sake. Koguma defeated Fukugan, at least Koguma won, and Himika defeated Ruaka. And Ida defeated Rina. Hazuki then defeated Miyu Amasaki, as you'd expect. 3 stars, was actually a solid little match. Of course, Hazuki was going to win, never in doubt. Julia defeated Tekla, thank goodness. 3 1/4 stars, Julia carried Tekla to a decent match. And I'm happy Julia won, although Tekla no-sold one of Julia's finishes, because Tekla sucks. Azumi defeated Momo Watanabe, yay! 2 3/4. It was very fast paced and very short. A little bit awkward ending. Shuri took on Ami Sourei in the main event. 3 3/4. A great showing for Ami Sourei. Shuri of course won, but a really good showing from Ami Sourei. I'm so happy for her. She had a beautiful power slam. She got to show off her entire moveset. And yeah, brilliant stuff, and a nice way to give Ami Sourei a bit of credibility as she joins Shuri's faction, which is called God's Eye. And we found out Mirai is the 3rd member as she quits DDM and joins God's Eye. Which made my Sakurai cry, which means I like Mariah again. Thank you for listening to the Decent Wrestling Show. If you listened to the whole episode, leave a comment below. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And take care. Have a nice day.
Yes.